You know, a lot of people like to focus on weight as their primary indicator of health. I do not believe in that. I believe in focusing on how you're feeling, how you're moving, how you're doing mentally, physically. Also, how's your blood work? You know, how's your blood pressure? How are all of those things?
Hello and welcome to Senior Life Publications Ask the Expert podcast, where we talk about all things involving healthcare, finances, free resources, and other important information, senior-related topics as well. Hi, I'm David Moss, publisher of Senior Life Publications, which is a free resource you can find throughout the Tampa Bay market.
And I'm Stephen Halstead, sales manager for Senior Life Publications, and we are here with a repeat performer, someone who's been with us before, Dr. Derek Hiltz with Optum Primary Care here in Pasadena. Welcome back.
Thank you very much. Thanks for coming back. I appreciate it.
Not a problem. So for those of you that have not possibly seen you on our podcast before, tell everybody who you are and a little bit about what you do.
Okay, great. Yeah, my name is Dr. Derek Hiltz. I'm an osteopathic physician focusing in primary care. Most of my patients are over 65, so focusing on our senior population here in Pasadena. We're at 508 Pasadena Avenue South. Here in St. Petersburg, and we really emphasize primary care. We try to do total primary care here. We try to address everything that we can in a single setting, and really just try to have good continuity, so take care of our patients for a long period of time and try to keep people as healthy as possible.
That's a good goal.
It is.
So when we last met, we were talking about how things had changed because of the quarantine during the pandemic and how people we're staying home more and maybe not coming to the doctor's offices more. So we talked about those types of things. But I want to talk today about, you know, what do you think are the next steps when it comes to making those healthy choices and making sure, whether you're at home or whether we're getting back to our regular routine, making sure we're staying on track with healthy eating and diet?
Sure. Excellent. Yeah, this is a tough one. You know, I find that a lot of my patients over the past year plus now have had some slow weight gain, so much less active, not doing the good healthy things they were doing prior, not eating the same. You know, some people were relying on food delivery, some people were relying on other people to bring their foods to them, and also ordering, you know, Uber Eats and some of these other companies that deliver, you know, meals from fast food. And so really what I've found, people are starting now over the past few months to make that turn back towards their previous healthy lifestyles. Some need a little more encouragement than others, as we all can use sometimes. But really the thing that I like to emphasize is taking small steps. Most people will go home and throw away everything, throw away all the chips, throw away all the bread, throw away all the cookies, throw away all these things. And I discourage that. I don't believe in taking a drastic step and making a change that you can't sustain. Something that you can do for 2 to 3 weeks is great. But we're looking for months to years of changes. So whenever people, you know, one of the most common diets that I talk to people about are low carbohydrate diets. They're excellent for inflammation reduction in the body, really, really good for people with diabetes, also helpful for weight loss. So the low carbohydrate diets, I encourage my patients to take anywhere from 3 months to a year to make these transitions. You know, don't go home and throw everything away.
Absolutely.
Because you're going to go buy it again in a month.
Or you're going to be craving it, or
you have all these cravings. So what I've found, and through personal experience and my own as well, is that, you know, by reducing in a manageable amount and setting a goal. So you set a goal of, okay, for the next 3 months, I'm only going to eat half the amount of carbohydrates that I was prior to. You know, and then after that 3 months and you hit that goal, then the next 3 months you hit that goal. You don't have to, you know, be at the goal the first week out. It's not realistic because you're not going to make a sustained lifestyle choice. So really, truly what we're looking for is longevity in those choices and things to be modified in a way that you can really, really live with, not something that I'm going to do today that I can't do.
It's so true because it's also psychological.
Absolutely.
And so that starts to play. And if you weigh yourself daily, you're going to see the fluctuation because you do fluctuate.
Of course.
In your weight, even when you're losing weight, right? And so that can really play on your mindset. I know for me, I try to weigh myself once a week and gauge where I'm at. It may not work for everybody.
Sure. Every person is unique. Every patient is unique. But really setting small, short-term goals, attainable goals, hitting that goal and then resetting again So you can do these changes, these small changes, but small changes over a period of time lead to really, really big changes. I've seen people with dramatic weight loss and dramatic reduction in the number of medications they need, or at least the doses of medication. So they can go from 8 pills a day down to 2, and really make these changes. And it took a year, sometimes 2 years. And initially people can be discouraged, and what I try to do is whenever I have these routine visits to people is really talk to them about, you're doing great. I know it's only 3 pounds over the past 3 months, but it's better than gaining, like that happened previously. So we're making these small changes. You can live with it. We're not being tortured. We're not torturing you right now, right? You feel okay, good. So let's build on that success and that progress that we've made and continue. I mean, I'm looking at a health journey of years, not weeks to months. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah, I remember last time we were here, Dr. Hills, you were talking really about how exercise is starting to really be a big focus that you want to do, especially at home. But tell us a little bit about how now that we're starting to open up a little bit from the quarantine, especially with the seniors that are out here, now that with diet, you tie that in and all that other sort of a lifestyle, it seems like that's what you're coming across as. Can you get, a little bit more into that or kind of what, maybe the habits that you see that, maybe we can get them a little bit more or some recommendations.
Yeah, sure. So, first of all, the foundation, is this exercise. They found that people are healthiest, they feel better, they live longer, happier, healthier lives whenever they're active. 30 minutes a day, most days of the week. So 4 to 5 days per week. That's kind of a foundation. And again, talking about goals, you don't start out at 30 minutes 5 days a week. That's an unrealistic goal. 5 minutes of walking. Start out with 5 minutes. And the beautiful thing about exercise, it's cumulative. So it adds up. So if you do 5 minutes here, 5 minutes here, 5 minutes here, you do that enough times a day, you've hit your goal.
That's right.
It's like people that have the meters that monitor their steps. It's an additive thing throughout the day. So you really don't have to go in and go sweat like crazy because it's starting to get hot out this time of the year. So additive small steps to get to that goal eventually. So it's really about setting goals. I like setting short-term goals that we talked about before with your diet, also with your exercise. And exercise and diet, they build on each other. And those we see that exercise and diet, when paired together, are synergistic. So it's 1 + 1 = 3. What you can do with diet and what you can do with exercise, when you put that together, it's just exponentially more powerful to not only for weight loss. A lot of people like to focus on weight as their primary indicator of health. I do not believe in that. I believe in focusing on how you're feeling, how you're moving, how you're doing mentally, physically. Also, how's your blood work? How's your blood pressure? How are all of those things?
Balance.
The scale is good. It's important. It tells us a lot of things about certain health states, but it never gives us the full picture of a patient. And so by doing these additive things, the exercise, now the diet, we add those together, and it really goes from 1 + 1 = 3 to have these exponential health benefits. And just like diet, making small changes you can live with for long term, doing these exercise things, these small changes, start out with short walks. And, now things are opening up. We're seeing more data that being outside is safe, without a mask. So a lot of people feel restricted by the mask when they're exercising and breathing hard. Now we know that you can go outside and go for walks. You can do these things in an outdoor open setting and be safe and really get back to some of the healthy things that people were doing before, or if they weren't doing before, perhaps they're more motivated now to do. And you can do some of your exercise at home. You can do some of your exercise walking. Even some people are now feeling comfortable enough to participate in some of the classes. Like there's the Silver Sneakers program that people can participate in, and they're doing a good job keeping people safe in those and getting back to doing some of these things. We're seeing a vast majority of our patients are now vaccinated. Over 80% of my personal patients that come through this door are now vaccinated, which is beautiful. It's excellent. And because of that, people are feeling better about starting to re-engage in some of those activities.
Psychologically, its barrier's gone a little bit.
Yeah, it certainly helps. I mean, I don't think any of us feel like we're going to just be all of a sudden back to normal, but we're getting a little closer towards normalcy.
Shifting toward a new normal.
Yeah, and some of that is getting back and exercising in a supervised group setting, because there's nothing more motivating, I don't think, than being responsible, having other people, all right, I'll see you Wednesday.
Hold you accountable.
Yeah, there's someone else there, because when it's just you, it's much more difficult than it is when there's other people around surrounding you in a community. Like other things, that exercise helps build on it. I was here Monday, and Wednesday last week, hopefully Monday and Wednesday, Friday this week, just to build on that. And those group classes are an excellent source for that.
Well, one thing I think is really important that people don't always think about is what you're eating, not just as weight gain, but how it affects your body. So if you have joint issues or memory issues or inflammation, right. And things like that, certain foods make it worse, and then you don't feel like exercising. And one thing I've learned is I like to cook, but I cook more since we've been home more.
Sure.
And I've really focused more on what I'm putting into it, because I know what's going into it, right? And then if I eat out now, which is occasionally, I don't feel real good afterwards sometimes. And I'm like, ooh.
Right, all the additives, preservatives, you don't know what's going
my
in.
My knees are locking up, or my hips are hurting, or I have brain fog, and or I'm just not as active. And I think people need to really focus on that.
Yeah, I agree. That's such an excellent point, is that there are so many foods that lead to inflammation. You're not feeling well afterwards, and truly you understand that whenever your diet has been a little closer to what you would like to call good for you, whether it's low carbohydrate, low fat, low sodium, whatever it is. And when you're following along that path and feeling, you're at a regular level, and then you have one of these meals where you go out with a family for a big birthday and they have a bunch of pre-cooked stuff, sodium and all this, simple sugars and everything, and then you feel the next day, it really emphasizes to us how important the fuel that we put in our body, how important that is to sustaining and maintaining health.
Yeah. Even with desserts, you can have desserts.
You can.
But you have to be in moderation. And also, if I make it at home, I'm a lot more aware of what I'm actually putting into it or not putting into it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's more important. So very good stuff.
Well, thank you, Dr. Hiltz. And is there any more questions you want to ask?
I don't know. I think you covered a lot of really good stuff today. And I want to let our readers know, if you get our magazines delivered to you, or if you pick it up in the public, there is Optum has a calendar of events in there where they do online virtual classes. If you go to optumhealth.com/events, you can find out what those classes are, and you can sign up for them. Those are still available at this time, but I appreciate all the information. It's good stuff, and we love having you on.
Well, thank you very much. Thanks for coming back again. I appreciate it. Always a pleasure to have you guys.
Dr. Hiltz, you're great, and thank you so much for joining us too as well. If you'd like to have your own publication mailed to you, please let me know. My name is David Moss. I'm the publisher of Senior Life Publications. My phone number is 727-430-5180, or you can email me at dmoss@seniorlifepublications.com. And don't forget to like this video and hit that like and subscribe button. Thank you so much for joining us, and have a great day.
Bye.